Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. We've had lots of technical issues behind the scenes, but we're here with a Heavy Spoilers review on the Fantastic Four. Last time we did it with Superman, we did spoiler free. Everyone was kicking off, they're like, what the hell is this? But we're back with a spoiler filled review of Fantastic Four. I've seen it, Matt's seen it, MT's seen it, we've all seen it. We're finally here, we're not chilling, we're not reading off the script anymore, guys, that DC's provided to tell you how good the movie is. So, I really enjoyed it. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up to date with the channel. Matt and MT loved Superman. I was a bit mixed on it. This was kind of the movie that I wanted Superman to be, and from the off, I think it handled things. It's actually weird how similar it is. You've got things like a villain being sucked into a black hole. You've got us getting dropped into an already established world. But I think in terms of how they introduced those concepts, it was a lot less chaotic, and I just liked the movie a lot more, which is weird because normally I'm a DC guy and I don't massively like the Fantastic Four that much outside of the Jonathan Hickman run. But yeah, really enjoyed it. There was a moment where I leaned in and I loved the film at the midpoint, and if you'd stopped it there, I would have been like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life. 10 out of 10. I did think the movie kind of fell apart towards, well, it didn't fall apart, but that was definitely the peak, and then it kind of went back down. But yeah, enjoyed it. What are your guys' initial reactions, Matt? Matt, go to you first.
I absolutely loved it, and I agree. It did kind of, the whole thing at the end with the teleportation was like, okay, yeah, and they evacuated everyone. They made sure to not get the Man of Steel allegations. But my main issue with it was Pedro just wasn't the Reed I wanted. He wasn't the kind of 60s kind of man, gentleman guy I was expecting from the Kirby run, or kind of like the self-assured person. He kind of had a bit too much guilt over the cosmic rays and that that affected, obviously, the Thing, made his thing the Thing. And I was just kind of not into him. I thought Kirby was a lot better as Sue Storm, a lot better of a comic book version. But yeah, that was the only thing for me. And I agree, the kind of final battle felt kind of muted, as there was no one there to be saved or anything like that. But yeah, overall, I loved it. But Superman just edges it a couple of points for me, personally.
Okay, interesting. No, I also love this movie so much. Like, the 60s feel of this entire film was the perfect decision. I cannot imagine this movie being anything else but a 60s movie, and I'm gonna be kind of upset when, like, they move on over to the modern day 616, because that's gonna be a jarring change. But, you know, overall, the entire cast was amazing. The chemistry was, like, off the charts. They really felt like a family. And my favorite part about this movie is how it very much made the entire world feel like a giant family, which is something that would never happen in our reality. So it was so cool to see the entire world rally together for a common cause and like working together. But, you know, like, I feel like the standout for me was Johnny Storm, Joseph Quinn. Like, every time I see him, I'm like, he's a little Robert Downey Jr. Like, his face looks so much like RDJ. Like, it's so funny. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film. But like, so like, what Paul, when you mentioned that, like, in the halfway point that you were locked in, like, what specific scene was your favorite?
The Interstellar action scene. You know, Interstellar is a really good movie, but to have that kind of setting where you were also getting a chase scene, obviously, you know, it had clear references to Star Wars, where they're shooting from the turrets. And I also liked how, I've always said this, that a good action scene also has an emotional thing attached to it. So, for example, No Time to Die, yeah, people hate that movie, but I'm like, look, the action in it, it's all got emotional ties to it. For example, the Aston Martin chase at the start, you know, there's lots of action stuff going on, but Bond's arguing back and forth with Madeline about whether he can trust her or not. So it's got an emotional push to it. And I feel that was the case here, with where you had the action in the black hole and going through faster than light travel, I think it was, FLT there. But you also had the emotional thing of the baby being born as well. So you had that nice contrast of high stakes action, but also there's an emotional side to it as well. I think it was really well balanced, and that was just kind of one of the standout MCU action scenes for me throughout all their films. And in general, this movie is sort of what I wanted to see from the multiverse. When they announced that was going to be the thing, they were like, we're doing a big multiverse 100%. Saga. I wanted to see, like, worlds that have their own style, characters, rules, and this really felt like it It was from the ground up a completely different world. Instead of just being like the 616, but the traffic lights, you go on red instead of green, that sort of thing. It really took things to the next level, and across the board was kind of a really solid movie. I also just wanted to interject by saying me and Matt were doing a big talk this weekend at the Metro Centre for FanFest on the 26th and 27th of July, going through lots of different films: Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Stranger Things, House of the Dragon, and Jurassic Park. So if you guys are there, you have a family, get yourself along to the Metro Centre this weekend. But yeah, what was it for you guys that made this thing, different from the other Marvel movies beyond the style?
It kind of leaned into the comics. It had it kind of had a lot of fun with it, but the way it looked as well, and the action wasn't just a volume kind of mess.
Right.
Like you said, you had the interstellar thing. You had different all the worlds looked different. Actually went to different planet, I can't remember if that was where I wasn't too sure exactly where they went to see Galactus. I wonder if that was like the moon or something. But yeah, it was good, and it had a actual villain who was interesting and acting. I don't think we've had a decent villain for quite a while, other than obviously with Thanos. So they've always had a bit of a villain problem there. But yeah, overall, I think
So what were your thoughts on Galactus?
Stunning. Very good. Yeah, I expected a bit more from him.
Same.
Because I was watching it, I was thinking, this is crazy. We've got someone who's like above Kang, kind of, and he's just a villain here. So obviously that's not like the last we've seen of him. But yeah, I thought Ralph Ineson did a fantastic job. The only thing I would say, maybe needed a little bit more of a backstory on him. I think they could have given the backstory that Silver Surfer got, perhaps, as well, to Galactus there for the casual fans as well. Because I think a few people might be a bit lost with that. But yeah, overall, fantastic.
No, I feel the same exact way. Like, even though, like, am I lagging? Am I good?
You're good.
For me.
You're good.
Oh, okay. No, I felt the same exact way. Like, I feel like, I just lost my train of thought. What was the last thing you said, Matt? I'm so sorry. I lost my train of thought.
Galactus was fantastic. No pun intended there.
Okay. No, I felt the same exact way in terms of the origins. Like, I really wish that we saw Galactus' origin and the Fantastic Four actually getting, hit by those cosmic rays. And like in a lot of comic book movies, like we're just like, yeah, skip the, Spider-Man origins, skip the Superman origin. But for the first family, I really wanted to see like exactly the circumstances of how they got their powers. But like we sort of just jumped into things, and like I feel like it would have served a lot well for us to have seen the transition from their previous life to this new superhero cosmic type of life. But like overall, like I liked what we got. Like the 60s, I mean the comic book feel rather was super strong. I love the references to all of their classic rogues gallery, like Puppet Master and Diablo. I was geeking. I just really wanted to see them. Like we saw some monsters here and there, but like we just didn't get enough of like their past history.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Especially with the Red Ghost. Like the Red Ghost being cut out from this film, it makes sense. Because, like, I feel like this film doesn't really have room for him. But, like, man, I would have really loved to see just another villain force sort of, like, go after the Fantastic Four. Especially when it's revealed that, this baby could save the world. Like, I was hoping that, like, Red Ghost would just pop up with his monkeys and try to kidnap the baby. To try to, like, give up to the Galactus. But I don't know. But regardless of that, it was a perfect film. And I want more of that. I want Mac Chapman
fucking hell
doing more Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I said the P word.
Yeah. I like I said, I'm hotter on this did things that I wish Superman had done, and when you guys are saying like it kind of dropped you in and you wish you had more backstory, I kind of wish that was the case with Superman. That started off with the block of text, whereas this kind of gave us a montage on the show. But I actually like how it started off in quite an intimate setting where it was Sue and Reed just talking to each other and revealing the pregnancy. I think what this film did really well is that it had those big world stakes, but it also had a very small central personalized story as well, which is very difficult to balance. But I just loved hanging out with the family, and it's nice to actually see like two people going through what it's like preparing for a baby coming, and then if there's complications, and then kind of working out. And I think it tackled things like the needs of the many, that sort of thing. That conversation I thought was really well handled as well. Another thing I liked as well was the humor, that they didn't like smack you over the head with jokes all the time. And there weren't scenes that were kind of very emotional, and then you can tell the writers being like, "Oh, we need to drop a joke here," and they drop it. I thought it was really restrained, and Joss Whedon gets a lot of shit for basically pioneering the Joss Whedon style of writing, which was prevalent throughout the MCU, where it was kind of do a quippy joke. But I think Joss Whedon always knew when to pull it back, whereas the people who imitated his writing didn't necessarily know that you needed to have restraint as well. And I think that's the case here. They've finally kind of reined it in. All the jokes are kind of in context with what's going on, and they're not just having something stupid happen. And it's like, well, that just happened. So I thought the humour was handled really well. I think tonally, it was just nice and consistent across the board, and it went well from those emotional levels down to the more serious ones. Johnny Storm as well, you know, could have easily been like a bit part, but they actually made him smart and kind of being overlooked and sort of having to prove himself. And I just thought every character nicely had their own thing that they brought to it. You know, Reed's constantly like imagining all the situations that could happen and realizing that, you know, he might have to give up the kid. Not that he would do it, but there might be a situation where he has to, and Sue's kind of the opposite to that. And I thought that was all handled really well, especially in the space of 2 hours. So any final thoughts before we talk about the post-credit scene? Which is, it's actually nice that you can talk about one of these movies as well without immediately having to be like, what's coming down the line? It's like nice to actually talk about the movie rather than being like, what's the post-credit scene?
Yeah.
No, you can go. You got it.
Yeah, I thought that Johnny Storm was fantastic. I just wish we saw a bit more of the tech and that. We just saw like the 60s kind of thing in his room. I like the way they recorded things on a vinyl because they didn't have computers and things like that. I just wish we saw more of the state of the world.
Right.
And overall kind of see more of... I thought that the whole thing where they were trying to take the baby, where they just turn up on Yancey Street and try and take the baby, I thought that was just dealt with a bit too quick. She just gave a speech and everyone was like, yeah, okay, we'll all come together and build this massive teleportation thing around the world. I just thought that was a bit of a too quick of a... I think,
though, with that world, though, it's kind of believable, because it's like, they're all sort of... It's a very earnest take. It's a very like sincere 60s world. I thought that was believable, that everyone would just be like, yeah, of course we'll all work together. Like, I don't really feel like serial killers exist in this world. They've got like supervillains, but like psychopaths walking around.
I mean, like, I did like the earnestness of that world, but like, you know, at the same time, if your world is being threatened by this like cosmic entity, you know that people are going to start freaking out, and they're going to start like turning. I mean, like, we saw the world sort of turn against the Fantastic Four, you know, at that point in the movie. But like, I feel like it would be a lot more chaotic, where like people are just like sieging the Baxter Building, trying to get out this baby, and like I was hoping to see humanity sort of lose it for a little bit and like started like, you know, breaking in and trying to grab the baby, but like, I don't know. Like, but it was nice to see a united world, and like obviously it's an alternate universe, so like anything could happen. Like that's my only thing that I would change. It's just I would just make humanity a little bit more evil, like they are in real life.
Yeah, I feel like they all kind of strive to be like the Fantastic Four, and they've kind of united this entire world. But that someone who's kind of a wild card is Doctor Doom, who appears at the end of the movie. There was a tease to Latveria at the start of the film with his empty chair, and clearly he's like the one person in the world who will not be swayed by an emotional speech about family. So yeah, we end with Sue. Doom's in the nursery.
Yeah, I just thought that when he like yourself, I saw the Latveria there, and I was listening out when they had the portal things going on. I was like, is there going to be a Latveria? Is there going to be a Wakanda? Will there be an Atlantis and things like that? But there probably is on the screens or something. But yeah, I think that it's interesting to see where it's going. I think considering that Doom would have seen Galactus be like, I want that kid because he's like super powerful. He's like, okay, he probably ran some tests and got the, like the scanner thing that Reed was trying to get working. He probably got like a portable version of that because he's so smart, and maybe saw the potential there in him. Or if it is a planet hopping Robert Downey Jr. faced one, he's probably going around trying to get the powerful beings to Or like we said, I can't know if you put it in the video about the Molecule Man. This could be the version of the Molecule Man to make the Secret Wars. But yeah, I think it's interesting where it goes. I'm still not hot on the Downey Jr. casting. I think it's just a 3 a.m. bugger. No one likes our movies anymore. Let's put Downey Jr. in it.
No, I really do feel like, you know, there is a strong possibility that like they could go the Molecule Man route and with Franklin, and because like he's sort of like the only person that could really stop this whole multiverse collapse, because he has this like super powerful cosmic godlike power. And so, you know, Doctor Doom could try to take advantage of that. But at the very least, I feel like Doctor Doom had Franklin heal his face, because like in the comics his face is super messed up following an incident, and so like we see him with the mask off and Franklin is not scared of like you know, his face, as like he's smiling and sort of touching it, and so it's just like, oh, so he must look normal or healed at that point. But yeah, no, I feel like, you know, have like Doom bringing the kid to another universe to like maybe, you know, use him to like conquer or attack like 616 or other universes before they, you know, have their incursion with his reality would seem something that Doom would do, and sort of like strike first before other people strike him. I don't know, but like anything could really happen, because Franklin is a little baby of infinite possibilities, so we'll see.
I have no idea what any of you guys have just said because my internet is so destroyed today, but that sounded great. And yeah, whatever it was, I'm sure it was spot on, and I agree completely. So I think we're going to leave it there. Otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen next. But thank you guys for joining us. Nice short video. We enjoyed the movie. I think you guys liked it less than me. I liked it more than you, but you guys like Superman more than me. Who's going to get paid for this video? Who's getting paid out of this one? But yeah, thanks for checking out the video.
Stop working.
We've got Fantastic Four shirts just below the video at the merch store, based on the NASA logo, Saturn Eater's Sun, and just lots of different shirts that you guys are going to love. Again, me and Matt are doing the Metro Centre. If you're in Newcastle, Sunderland, South Shields, or the Northeast, talking lots of different stuff, free entry, and yeah, come along and see us if you want to hear more of our thoughts. You can jump Matt on stage for not liking the movie, but don't hurt me. I'm your best friend, and I'll take a photo with you.
We'll have a nice discussion.
Thank you guys for coming along. See you on the next one. Peace.